Kimberly, it's such a fun day. It's an exciting day because your book has come out, Chaos, a wake-up call for Lightworkers. And I found it to be a fascinating book. And really, it's a time where we're living in a really different time where many, many of us are being affected in different ways, the whole world, and not just us in our own little locations, which is really something. So I understand in our conversations with you that this book was inspired. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's actually it was quite an incredible process, and my team has been like blown away by it because I call it getting a download from source. And so I was thinking about as all this was starting to unravel, and it just seemed so surreal with what was going on, and we had to be in this quarantine, and I was like, what is going on? And so I started to think about what's the best way I can serve? What can I do? Like, what's the shift I need to make, or what does this look like? And I got this full download. It was crazy. I mean, I literally one day was like, oh my goodness, here it is. And I wrote the book in 2 weeks. It was like 2.5 weeks of it just poured out and organizing and stuff. And I was able to have an amazing team come together to help me make it happen. So Kat Wanders did the editing of Cat Writes, and you, of course, helped me with the back end piece of the publishing, and my whole team stepped up to help me get it out there. And it's been pretty incredible, but it was a complete download of information about the fact that right now with this chaos, and what's funny actually is that the original title was coronavirus, a wake-up call, but they would not let me publish that. So there's just an interesting side note to that they were controlling that piece of it, but I was not allowed to publish with my original title. So we went with chaos because that's what it feels like for a lot of people right now, is that we're in this chaos of what's going on. So it's pretty exciting to see this chaos. Let's shift how we look at it and see the chaos as something to use as a positive. This is that contrast for all of my people out there who follow Abraham Hicks, right? This is the contrast that is showing up for us to decide, what do we really want? And so I believe this chaos piece is a wake-up call for the light workers to step out, because as more and more people awaken to what's really happening and the crimes against humanity that are occurring, as they awaken to that, they're going to panic. They're going to freak out quite a bit, actually. And so, so I think the light workers are really, really needed for that, so that we can help them get through the process.
Well, I just saw a Facebook message from somebody that I've known for a lot of years, and she works in the medical field, and she was so angry, and it really surprised me at the anger she was expressing. But she has herself worked with people that in the hospital with coronavirus, and the nurses with not enough protection, all the stuff that is going on. And her expression was really, really interesting to me. But I think it is just not somebody isolated to the medical field. It's everybody, because how many families have ever spent this much time together?
Yeah, there's chaos on all sorts of levels, right? There's chaos around the world of what's happening and how people are going through this experience, and it's a worldwide thing. That's what's so, I think, unique and unusual about this.
It's fascinating.
It's everywhere. So since it's everywhere, we have that chaos from a world perspective. We have the chaos from, of course, the U.S., say, call it political's perspective, and then we have the chaos within our own homes that's happening. Chaos within our businesses that's happening, chaos of people being thrown together with their children and their spouses. Some people, there are people that I know that have not spent that much time with their spouse since they've been married, since they were dating, children. Right? And their children.
Yeah. And I say there's going to be a lot of babies born 9 months from now.
We were joking about that too. We're like, what's going to happen with that? That or go out of divorce, or the divorces are going to spike, right? It's going to happen one way or the other. So yeah, so being able to handle the chaos outside in the world, to handle the chaos for the people that are going through their awakening and trying to figure out what's going on, and handling the chaos within our own lives. It's so important to really be stepping out as spiritual leaders and knowing, how do we stay at our highest vibration regardless of what's happening in the 3D around us.
Very, very important. And so you talk a lot about money and spirituality. Do you cover this in your book?
I do. And I take an interesting perspective. So we think, chaos right now, people thinking chaos coronavirus, but there's also a lot of financial chaos that is being created by the powers that be, right? They've shut down our economy. At the end of the day, they have made a choice. My clients, my people know who they are, but they have decided to shut down the economy. And I think there's a bigger play. Yes, as the virus exists. Yes, for people, getting sick and stuff. Yes, but I think there's more underlying to all of this, and a lot of it is having to do with the economy and what they're doing with the economy. So there's chaos in the financial world, which highlights the chaos in our own personal lives. And so I say, if we're experiencing the contrast in our lives of what's happening around us, that contrast is there because there's something unhealed. So when people are experiencing chaos financially in their money worlds, if their financial house is not solid, they're in panic. They're having this worry, this fear around money because they haven't taken time to heal their financial house. So I talk a lot about how do we heal that financial house and how do we learn to create money instead of earn? Because when we earn, we're getting a paycheck from somebody else, and that actually ties us to the 3D world. And yet when we can create our own money and create by, again, using our connection with source, that creative process actually frees us from the 3D. So I talk a lot about that in the book.
It's truly fascinating. I think that this is a real time for us all to go inward and really, truly, deeply think about who we are, what we're here for, what is our purpose here on this earth at this time, and why we're doing what we're doing, and how we can serve. Because in serving and making a difference, we're out there in this world as leaders, and we are supposed to fill that role. And there's many people that need us to fill that role.
Yeah.
It's a responsibility we have. There's a purpose behind it all. I feel like what's going on, this is an election year. There's all kinds of things happening, but I think they're just trying to distract us from what's truly going on. And so we don't really know what the full big picture is, but really that's not where our focus needs to be. Our focus needs to be, how are we leading, and what are we doing to lead?
Yeah, exactly. Because I liken it, I talk about this in the book too, I liken it to looking at an impressionist painting. When we're super close to an impressionist painting, it just looks like a bunch of brushstrokes and dots, and we're like, what is that? And we step back and we see this beautiful creation, a masterpiece. And when we're looking at what's going on right now, we're seeing chaos, and we just don't have the perspective. And I think as human beings, we're probably not supposed to have the bigger perspective of what's happening, but it may be, actually, it probably is in perfect order, despite the chaos that we are experiencing right now. Because as all my clients know, is everything is as it should be, then how it is the perfect order, even though it may be chaotic to us right here. And since we can't control the chaos outside of us, the only thing we can control is ourselves. So how are we showing up? Yep. How are we showing up? How are we holding our vibration? How are we showing up at the highest level? And that's what I talk about, what I did in the book. So for those of you just joining us, so we're talking about my new book that launched today, Chaos, a wake-up call for Lightworkers. And what I did in the book was I take the first half of the book, talks about the awakening process and what we need to do to really step up as spiritual leaders. And in the second half of the book, I talk about serving. So how can we use our spiritual businesses as a vehicle to serve, to help the people that are really going to need us as this starts to happen?
Well, I think this is a wake-up call for everybody, even, for those that, I think there's awakening process going on for people that have not come awake to what is really going on. And I think that our world is going to be a better place. The fact that it's a worldwide thing instead of just a little locale, just maybe something just the United States or just Italy or just somewhere else. But there's no country, no place in this world that has escaped the ramifications of this. And so for those that are listening, make sure that you pick up a copy of Kimberly's book. It's available on Amazon. If you go and type in, she'll have a link, I'm sure, to put in the chat box.
Well, probably what I'll do is I like say it this way, because Lovely Facebook has decided to no longer show posts when you have links that go outside of Facebook. And so if I put the link, you guys won't be able to get there, but it's on Amazon. So just go look for me and go look for Chaos, a wake-up call for Lightworkers. It's 99 cents today, but that's where we need to to start there and take this message. Again, this download came to me so clearly from source that this is the message that needs to be put out there. Share the video, share the message. The book's 99 cents. Go get the book so that you can see all the steps. And also in the book, I guide you to some free trainings as well. So there's additional trainings that you can get that are in the book that once you get that, you can go ahead and take a look.
Well, I say it's an awesome book. And if you take the time to really read it, to ponder the words that are written by Kimberly, this fabulous download that she got, you will find such nuggets of not only truth, but inspiration that needs to be shared out, and really take some time for some introspection, to really think about where you are personally in this crazy mixed up world we're living in, but at the same time, the best way to serve in whatever way you can. And so as we go throughout this day, is there any other short thoughts that you want to share just at this point?
Yeah, I think really just, guys, again, this is our wake-up call. This is the time. So I have a whole range of clients, right? I have my clients who are ready and they're in my boot camp and they're doing incredible things. But there's a lot of people that follow me that are kind of on that fence, like, what do I do? And is it time to step out as a spiritual leader? And then we have all the excuses that pop up, whether the excuses are money or time or whatever it is. We have all of these things that we use to keep us from our dreams and keep us really in a mediocre life. And so we've been conditioned to stay in the mediocre life, and we've been conditioned to stay in that mediocre life by looking at all the fears and things that could happen around us. There's not enough time. There's not enough money. How am I going to do this? Who's going to guide me? And what's amazing is that the people around us who love us dearly, but they are also experiencing the same fears. They will bring those fears to you. How can you actually make money with a spiritual business? How could you do that? That doesn't make any sense. That's all woo-woo. Who would pay you for your time? All of those things pop up. And they're wrong. And they're there to condition you, to keep you to living a mediocre life. And we are not here to be mediocre. We are here to be extraordinary. I have a whole chapter, and it's a tiny chapter. It's my favorite chapter. When my editor was looking at it, she was like, oh my God, this is the best part. And the whole chapter is called, Are You Being Irresponsible? And you guys have just got to read it. It's like super simple. I forget what chapter it is specifically, but it's in there called Are You Being Irresponsible? And it's about that very thing. Like, we have to be living extraordinary lives. At the end of the day, we all know that we're just here in a flash on planet Earth, right? When we transition to the next dimension and we get over there, what are we going to say that we did with our lives here on this planet? Are we going to say that we used our gifts to serve, to step out? Or are we going to say we sat in our fears and we were too afraid, and money or time or family or whatever the excuse is has kept us where we are, and we continue to live a mediocre life? You are greater than you remember. You actually forgot when you came in how amazing you are. It is time to remember. I am here to remind you so that you can remember how fantastic you are, and the gifts that you have were given to you for a reason. And it is time for you to step out and use them now. This world is in chaos. It is a time of crisis. And at every moment of crisis, that is a call for the Lightworkers to step up. And this is your calling.
Wow, that's beautiful. I so agree. And I think that what is fascinating too is I think many of us feel that nudging, the call. And some of us are not real clear exactly what that call is, but just the words you just spoke those are the reminders. They are also the call. And if you're needing that push in the right direction, there are many people out here saying these kind of messages. Reach out, have some conversations, get some clarity about what those nudges are, and really take the time to go deep, because we are in a massively important time that we're living in.
Yeah. Definitely. And like I said, just as you said, if the nudges are there, have the conversation with someone. That's actually my expertise. I have people clients join camp and they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm supposed to be serving. And that's like my intuitive gift, is actually to be able to help people define what that is. So start the conversation. Those of you who are watching this who aren't in my Facebook group, there's a Facebook group called Spiritual Biz Success. Join that. It's free. I'm in there every week having conversations. You can ask questions. That's where you need to start. And I have a plethora of information all over the place if you just kind of search around.
I've been having a lot of interesting conversations with people on this subject, and I think that even when there's certain people that I've known for a long time that I didn't know that they were actually we're getting those nudges too. And so the conversations have been pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's getting them. And this is, again, this is that wake up call. This is what we're like, wait a minute, this can't be right. This can't be right.
Right. I do believe the world's going to be a better place,
Yeah.
you know, just because of something like this, because it is making all of us go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And not just living the routine of daily life, but really stepping up and looking at life differently.
Yeah, definitely.
Kimberly, you're brilliant. You're awesome. And you have stepped up to the call to lead. And I'm just happy to know you and to see what you're doing and realize that there are a lot of us needing that message.
Yes. Time to step up, guys. So grab the book, 99 cents today only. And then I'll see you guys in my Facebook group.
All right.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Becky.
you, Kimberly. All right. Take care.
Bye.